got to say to the fans, Admiral? I'm here in your stead. There's 2,000 of them sitting here in the panel discussion.
All I can say, honestly, is that I wish I was there. I'm really sorry not to be there. I was supposed to be there, but I'm out here trying to capture the Green Hornet.
We miss you.
Don't worry about a thing. I'll get over to you. I'm going to do the Admiral never fails. So say we all.
I love you.
Over and out.
Dr. Frazier,
Yes.
last year I asked you a question that you couldn't fully answer because it would have been spoilery.
Yeah.
So again, this year I'll ask the same question. What was the most interesting piece of technical advice you got to give the writers of Battlestar?
You know, last year you did ask that question and I gave kind of a lame answer, pretty unsatisfying answer. And in the elevator afterwards, James Callis was saying, "I could see you." No, you can't say that. Can't say that either. And that's pretty much what happened. The best advice I think I ever gave was on the FTL drive. I was actually heading up to Vancouver to do just to sit around and watch an episode being filmed, and I get a call to, "You have to contact the office immediately. We're writing something. We need your help." And I say, "I'll call when I land." And the second I landed, I get on the phone and I call Bradley Thompson and say, "What's up?" He said, "Well, you knew this was going to happen eventually, but we need you to figure out how the FTL drive works. So we need to know what components it has, so we can figure out what gets battle damage. So in a last-minute Wrath of Khan-like maneuver, the captain can run down and fix it and save the ship and die in the process." It was Captain's hand. I said, "Brad, I've been up for all night." He says, "I get in tomorrow at 10:30. So I literally paced a Vancouver hotel room and figured out how the FTL drive worked, and I sent it in, and it worked really well. And we had in-house how it worked more detailed than I've ever said here. And I should point out that I do have a book coming out, Science of Battlestar Galactica, and the set of notes that I submitted for that are included in full in the chapter. But I called back like a couple hours later, and I said, "Bradley, I just had a great idea. I know how we can destroy a base ship and not fire a shot, but it might be a little too Trekish for you." I said, let me have it. I said, Galactica pulls up the base ship and jumps here. And the distortion destroys the base ship. He goes, "Yeah, nah, that's a little too Trekish. Yeah, you're right. That's just not going to fly for us." So, like a year later, or no, 2 years later, I'm driving in Pasadena and my phone rings. Bradley Thompson, pick it up. "What's up? Remember your idea for destroying the base ship? What do you think would happen if a Raptor jumped before it left the bay?" I think I'd take part of Galactica with it. Exactly what I was hoping you'd say. Which you saw. So that was the thing that I liked, was we figured out a pretty decent way of how the FTL worked, and we were able to abuse that later on in one of the last episodes. So that was the answer. But at the same time, I also get a perverse sense of pleasure out of the things I get to make these people say.
Question from this side?
It's me, Paul. On behalf of all my friends out here, 2,000 of them, I want to thank you for attending the convention here, because a lot of times you guys, got all this work to do, and you give up your weekend to come out and play with us. We really appreciate it. I went to this great presentation. I brought this nuclear human bomb to get rid of the humans. Since I can't give a gift, I'll just have to spoil it for you. Got this sign. It says, "Warning, live ammo." I got this human bomb, 12 pounders inside. It's to pound the humans back into oblivion for what they did to the Cylons, because I have a Cylon wife. Here's a spoiler. Since you didn't give me any spoilers the last 5 years, it's filled with cookies, high calories, 600 calories per cookie. And there's 12 of them. And there's 7 of you. So even the moderator can get one, if I can bring it up. Sorry. Tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Paul.
Paul.
Hi, this is a question from Michael Trucco. Spent a tremendous amount of time in the hybrid goo tub at the end of the series. And I figured that must have been an absolutely horrifying experience. And I was wondering if you could go into detail. And anybody else that had any horrible filming experiences, feel free to chip in.
Where does the goo go?
Yeah. Where does the goo come from? Try to picture warm, non-fat milk mixed in with like random hairs, dirt, and stuff that comes off the studio floor. And that's pretty much what I soaked in for, what, 4 weeks, I guess? My skin-colored Speedo and my bald cap. That was my life for the last 4 or 5 weeks of the show. It was a really cool idea on day one. I was like, all right, this is like a hot tub. Only gooier and milkier and gross. But it was, it was comfortable. They warmed the water for me and I didn't have to say anything. I sat there for copious amounts of time in a hot tub. I was like, cool. I get paid for this. And then you start to sweat through a latex bald cap that cannot sweat. So my head actually swelled underneath because it was glued to my skull. And in hindsight, it was disgusting. And everybody's enjoying the last few weeks and days of shooting, and people are all dressed in their their regular uniforms, and there's scratches and blood and stuff's going on. And I'm in a bathrobe with flip-flops and a Speedo. And they like go, that's lunch, let's go. And I'm like, I'm nude, and I'm in the tub, and I'm wet, everybody just left. And everyone's like, hey, let's take pictures, it's our last week on set. I was like, keep that fracking camera away from me. No focus. So, I was like the boy in the bubble. I was just relegated to the side. Ultimately, it turned out to be a pretty cool storyline, but I'll never do the tub again. You can just shoot me now. Be done with the character, because that was too much.
Luciana, Scar from second season really brought your character front and center. Talk about making that episode, because the curious thing about it is you've got these two women competing to be Top Gun, and the men are in stereotypical, stand off to the side positions. What was that like?
Well, I mean, I was so happy when I got that script because finally they were doing something with Kat instead of just me saying 1 or 2 lines. When we shot that episode, Starbuck was a lot worse than after they edited everything. I mean, she was really, really cracking up. So, my reactions that you were seeing was to something that was a lot worse than what was edited out. So, when I first saw Scar, the episode, I hated it. I couldn't even watch it. But now I love it, What was your question?
Just the fact that you've got gender roles split with the women competing to be Top Gun and the men standing off to the side.
Whatever, man. It's like that in real life. What's the big deal? There are strong women out there, It happens in the real world as well, so, I don't know.
When you say it's cut out, was there in the longer version, the DVD, is a lot more of that in there? Is it?
I don't think so, no. She was just really bad, she was doing some really, I can't remember, but I just remember it was horrible. And she was just like, a lot of people were getting killed, and she was just really cracking up, and somebody needed to put her in her place. Like, somebody needed to, shake her out of it, She was really messed up, but anyways. Does that answer the question?